joke's on you. His last name ends with an IN, so I don't know who you're talking to.
You're talking to the wrong dwarf.
Okay.
Damn.
Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Clingerton.
It seems I've made my name hard to pronounce.
It's just early for me, man. It's early.
All right, so we are once again at attack and attack.
So I have, 2 fighter helpers?
Yes.
No longer fresh, I would assume.
You are still fresh until the end of conflict.
Okay, so that's 3 total help for me.
Isn't it 3 fighter helpers?
Yeah, because I can help, so.
And Maxima, and me.
And I have rolled 0 successes for my attack.
Ooh, get him.
I'm +4 for help and modifiers.
Yeah.
Yes, I
do
believe
have a
so.
question, though.
Yes.
You were originally rolling 4d6, and now you're down to a single d6. What was the mechanics behind that change?
The amount of combatants. And I was actually wrong on my first roll where I had the 4d6, so I was taking 1 off.
So they were always only supposed to roll 1d6?
Oh no, it was supposed to be 1d6 plus helpers for my guys.
Oh, so now it's 1d6 because the disarmed guy's no longer helping you. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to understand the mechanics, that's all.
What it works down to is their nature is to pull a dice, which is a 2, and then they get helpers. So actually, I was wrong on that. I should be rolling 2d6.
Thank God I didn't die.
I mean, you saw darkness twice now.
But I came back!
But, did you roll your,
Yes, I have 2 successes.
Okay. Now, once again, the combatant here really can't do a whole lot. He's disarmed.
I don't know if Warhammers have any special abilities or not.
Did the guy on the left get disarmed?
What's that?
Did the guy on the left get disarmed? I know the guy on the right's disarmed.
The guy on the right's disarmed. I already took away the disposition and was getting ready to move on to the third combatant.
Oh, okay. I thought we were still figuring out what was going on here.
No.
Because nothing was said at all. So it's just like the first thing you said was, he's disarmed. I'm like, is he disarmed?
So, let me see. And we had a question about the Warhammer. The Warhammer would simply... Let me double check that. I don't want to...
Warhammer gets a +1 die to attack, -1 die to defend, and bypasses chainmail, increases chance of damage to plate.
All right,
then. I'm
then.
going to have to find that and put that on my sheet.
Well, here, I can do a thing while it's not my turn.
He doesn't really get that attack.
Ah, nice.
Wait, I meant to put maneuver. She did want to attack. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I want to...
Dice for the maneuver.
I've been planning this for 2 turns. Rounds, whatever. Okay, so I've got a fighter of 2, and everyone else can help me fight, right? So it's going to be +3, we said?
Yep.
Yes.
+1 for my freshness, so +4. Oh, and I forgot my +2. So that was silly. So it's actually +6. Damn. Whew. Ha. Whew.
Ooh. So yes, you come in with a very mighty blow.
That's really good.
Yes, it was. Somebody's rolling hot.
Short but fierce.
So now we are down to just the one lone combatant from the skeletons for our
So
third
time for
round.
Herrick to get revenge.
Yeah, we know that won't happen. my roll history would say otherwise.
Yeah, send me in. I'll
Let's
do
say, yeah,
something.
we have to switch people out, and you've got the tied for highest fighter skill.
You're
Yeah. Oh,
Herrick?
definitely. Oh, yeah. I'm definitely. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah.
And the highest disposition.
I mean, maybe I can go down again. That'd be third time's the charm, right?
Then we can't get you up, I don't think.
Herrick the Resurrectionist.
Oh, go it in there, Herrick. Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
All right then. All ready to go?
Yep.
Well,
Once
we knew
again,
he was
these guys-
attacking. You flipped
pretty
the
much
card
all
there.
these guys know.
I can't flip it, Arcaloid.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was editing my sheet to put the Warhammer on the bio and info because there's no space on the sheet. Oh, the card been flipped. All right. There we go.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
All right, so it's my same roll.
Yep. And he's got a nature of 2. Oh, 2 successes.
So it's 3 plus 4, right? Or no?
Yep. 3 help from the fighters, plus 1 for you being fresh.
Yeah. Oh, finally.
There you
Yes.
All right. And that will be enough to kill him. However, he does have 2 successes on you. You have armor on, correct?
Yeah. Leather armor.
Go ahead and roll a d6. Oh, look at that.
Finally.
You-
You're still standing, right?
He is. The leather armor successfully absorbs one of those damage, allowing you to stay up after the fight.
Yeah, you're reduced
I
down
stand
to...
over him and I say, "Take that!"
Now, if you only had one disposition like the rest of us, you'd be down.
Right? So that was actually a good move.
Mm-hmm.
So now we come up. You actually did pretty good in that you lost Herrick a couple of times, but brought him right back up. I am just going to give a condition of exhausted to Herrick.
Whoa.
All that effort you put into the fight tired you out. Got
Yeah.
knocked down, you got back up, you got knocked down again.
It's a Chumbawamba song.
My God,
Okay.
it is. I can't believe I just did that.
Never gonna keep him down.
Oh man, now we're getting bad.
So Herrick is no longer fresh.
And
You ever
This
have
is
that not so fresh feeling?
that also triggers the 4th round. everybody is no longer fresh, and you are hungry and thirsty.
Now, if I'm not hungry and thirsty, I'm still fresh, right?
You are no longer fresh.
Is the grind the same as conditions, or are they two different things?
The grind can cause conditions,
Okay.
but conditions can be received from other means.
See, I'm just asking if I might still be fresh because I'm immune to the grind.
Then yes, you are not hungry or thirsty.
We all
And you
should have.
don't become hungry or thirsty anyway, don't you?
Right.
Regardless.
That's an aspect of also being immune to the grind.
We should have all become robots.
I know.
Well, the robot has its own things. Like, it doesn't naturally heal from being injured, or it doesn't learn skills.
And because he can't become certain conditions, that also forces me into giving him other conditions.
Gotcha.
So I check that the grind, I'm exhausted, and then my condition is also exhausted. Is that correct?
You're exhausted
No,
because you got knocked down twice during the fight.
and then
In the grind or condition?
conditions.
Okay.
The grind is what
And
happens
now
every fourth round, which is when you become hungry as well.
think
Okay.
of the grind as a verb and conditions as nouns or adjectives. Sorry.
Okay.
And because we hit the fourth round, the grind happens. I'll actually.
So the grind affects the conditions?
Yes. Every 4 turns, the grind is a measurement of time.
Yeah.
Basically, you just hit coffee break and now you're hungry.
So, and it's like multiple things can give you conditions, and the grind is one of those things that just happens over time.
Yes.
But everybody else is hungry and thirsty, and I'm exhausted in the grind. Or no, I'm hungry and thirsty in the grind, and my conditions are that I'm exhausted. I'm just trying to understand.
The grind simply triggers conditions.
Yeah, so I guess
Got
I
it.
would assume
Okay.
that, yeah, on conditions you have hungry and thirsty and you have exhausted, and then on the grind you just have hungry and thirsty ticked.
Actually, I think, let me look at the character sheet real quick. I think that just might be a redundancy.
I don't think it lets you do that. So if I select exhausted in conditions, it automatically puts me exhausted in the grind.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Just a
Okay.
redundancy is all it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to understand it. So, like, if in the grind I'm hungry and thirsty, and then conditions I'm exhausted. If we go down one, how does the grind affect my conditions if it's not the same?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. You
Yeah,
could
yeah.
honestly take the grind on the character sheet and erase it. You
Oh,
don't have
okay.
to worry about the grind. Just worry about the condition. Somebody put it in there. It's a redundancy. It's saying the same thing twice.
I understand. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, that was confusing. Thanks for clearing that
So
up.
you're exhausted plus the grind hit at the end of combat. So everybody except for Sir would become hungry and thirsty. Now, hungry and thirsty is the easiest condition to take care of. It doesn't take a turn. All you have to do is eat a ration or drink some water or wine, and you eliminate it. And you do that while you're walking through the dungeon.
Okay, so right now we could all decide to decrement our rations by 1 each and then get rid of this hungry and thirsty.
Correct. You would not be fresh again, but you would no longer be hungry and thirsty.
All right, well, Maxima is going to chow down because
Okay.
that, let's say, dissecting that skeleton took a lot out of her.
I mean,
And-
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I forget if it's her goal or her motto or whatever, but I think it was don't do anything on an empty stomach. So here we go.
There you
Oh.
go.
I mean, a -1 disposition is pretty bad when I only have 1 disposition to begin with.
Yeah, it
every-
seems like there's not a lot of disposition to go around. Like that's the real risk of this. But I guess that depends on the skill that you're using, which would to roll for disposition, which would depend on the conflict.
Yes.
Everybody who rolled skills during that conflict, don't forget to mark your pass or fail. I'm trying to remember if I passed or failed my fighter.
Oh yeah, good call.
Now that
For
you mention
what?
it, thank you for saying that. You mark a skill for conflict, but you only get to mark once for pass or fail for a conflict.
Okay, so it's like the whole conflict counts as a single test, so you would choose among the skills that you used.
So if you wanted to mark down a fighter as a pass, if you used fighter, if you used your health, you can mark that down. Or if
Alright.
you failed, you may mark down once.
Did I pass or fail my fighter? Well, I can't remember. I think it was a pass.
Considered a pass. If you had any successes, it was a pass.
Here's a question. What is the? I remember you saying it last week, but there's a reason to get failures.
That gets you checks. When you go to camp, like Herrick, you're exhausted right now, correct?
Yeah.
So when you get to the camp phase, you find a safe place, you rest for 8 hours, make camp. Someone can make some food. Uh, if you damaged armor, you could replace your armor. Herrick will obviously rest. Use a check to try and eliminate the exhausted condition.
I can't just eat and go up one, correct?
What do you mean?
So I'm exhausted right now. If we sit and rest a minute and I eat something, can I roll to try to get me to afraid?
No. And you wouldn't go up to afraid, you would simply erase the exhausted condition.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a tier, it's a tree.
The game is very much like if you have ever played Masks.
I have not played Miss, but I played Monster of the Week, which kind of uses the same thing, I
Does
think.
it? I don't. Masks, you don't have hit points. You get conditions for losing fights and whatnot. So you would get you get hit by something, you become afraid, or you get angry, or you get despair. I can't remember all the conditions, but it's like 5 conditions, and they're not like an ordered list. It's you have to do something to get rid of anger. You have to do a specific thing to get rid of afraid.
Exhausted. But yeah, exhausted, you would actually have to make camp and rest. Just
Okay.
like if the magician wanted to relearn spells, you would have to make camp and rest, and then he would relearn spells.
Now, do you have to roll if you want to go from hunger and thirsty to fresh? I mean, if you want to be fresh, do you have to?
The only way to get back to fresh is to go back to town at the end of an adventure, recuperate, and if you don't have any more conditions, you check off fresh.
Can you
Think of
have multiple
fresh.
conditions?
Yes.
Okay.
So, say you run out of food and water. The grind hits you. You're hungry and thirsty. 4 more
But I'm
rounds go
also
by.
exhausted, right?
And then, say you fall down in a pit trap and you become injured. You would also be injured.
Okay.
So now you see how you can quickly start that downward spiral into death quite quickly.
Yeah, so I get it. So then I can remove hunger and thirsty by either drinking a draught of water or eating a ration. And
Yes.
I can remove hunger and thirsty, but I'm still exhausted.
Yes.
Got it. I got it now. Thank you.
Now, if you could excuse me for just a moment.
Anything else anyone's not understanding?
Oh, it's really different than anything I've played.
Oh yeah, no.
It's
I mean,
very unique.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying that from the perspective of somebody who knows everything. I don't fucking know anything. I'm just.
Well, yeah.
wanted-
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I want to get all our ignorancies out on the table before we.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while
Ignorancy
to.
doesn't work for me.
What does?
ignorancy is a new word for me.
Ignorant of
Mm-hmm.
being ignorant. Isn't that what Socrates once said? True wisdom is knowing that you know nothing.
I don't know shit. So
So you have all the power.
I just watched Bill and Ted yesterday.
Nice, nice. Yeah. So I'm just trying to wrap my head around conflict now, I guess, because it seems like
I don't think it's ever going to get easier than that.
no, but I mean, and naturally that one we kind of stumbled into blind. At least I did, in terms of really not knowing anything about how the rules worked. So, but I'm trying to like figure out in my mind what happened and where the critical choices are. Right, like
The cards.
the cards are the critical choices. Those are important. There's not a whole lot we can do. It seems like the way it's set up, disposition is always going to be rather scarce. But I'm looking through the rules. It also
rolled
seems
poorly.
like, yeah, if you roll poorly, then you don't have a lot to go around.
Also, I mean, clearly you want the person with the highest health, I think, to be.
Yeah.
Highest health or the highest fighting.
It also pools things in interesting ways, though. So I'm looking at the rules again. And there were two things that stood out to me that I'm not sure if we did right, but also I don't really know. So you let me know. The first thing was hit points, or taking hits. And I'm looking on page 69. Nice. Taking hits. So yeah, when you take a hit for an attack or a feint, you take that amount of damage to your disposition. It says excess points are removed from another player or players selected by the conflict captain. So it seems like even though we have our own dispositions, we're also kind of have group disposition. And it seems like the same thing for the enemies. Like everyone gets assigned a part of this pool, but ultimately it is a pool and stuff rolls over into the pool.
Yes.
The other thing that I'm looking at is once we were down to 3 skeletons, we selected 2 characters and 2 cards, but I think there's always 3 cards.
Let me double check that.
It's also page 68 into 69, I think. Under the conflict captain, it says on your own. If you're a team of 1, you take all actions.
Oh, okay. Yes, you're correct on that.
I mean,
Which is
regards
interesting.
To, taking hits, I don't recall anybody getting hit far over the amount of disposition that they had.
That's correct. It was just 1 or 2 disposition you lost at a time.
Right.
Gotcha. So we just never got into that case. I was thinking that it was like we owned our disposition points, which you kind of do because they do represent your effectiveness in the battle, but we also kind of don't. So that's just me wrapping my head around it. Anyway, it's very interesting.
It's also good to know because I didn't know that was a thing, that you taking a hit too hard can knock me out.
Right? Interesting stuff. So very abstract, but also still very
I mean,
crunchy.
It's very narrative. Like, you know, what happens when the 2 hobbits get into the fight with the troll? Well, one of them is no good at defending, so he gets knocked back, and, well, that's what? He slapped into the dwarf, and now the dwarf is down.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, we're in trouble then.
Bowling pins. Yeah,
Well,
and that's
like I
also
said,
why.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's why they also say that it's a game that you're going to learn over several sessions. As you can see, I played this a few times and I'm still making mistakes.
Well, it's also unlike a lot of other RPG systems that I've ever played, so maybe its uniqueness also makes it. Yeah, there's a lot to keep in mind and to remember. So yeah, no judgment or anything. I'm just pointing this stuff out so that
Oh no.
I know.
I honestly have said before, this book is 200 pages long, and it is the most amount of crunch I've ever seen in 200 pages.
Yeah, wow.
But to get back into the swing of things, you have defeated the 3 skeletons. They dropped to piles of bones before you. Their weapons were very old and really didn't do much to survive through the combat. You do notice something glittering in the torchlight.
Ooh.
Each one of them had some kind of like a silver torque around what used to be their necks. Looks like it's the only piece that's worth taking from them.
Well, they won't be needing these.
Whoever is going to take them, they are worth 2 dice. They take up 1 spot in a storage area, or they can be worn on the neck.
Then what are they made of? Silver?
Yes,
How many are? So there's 3 of them, right?
3 of them. And each one will be worth 2 dice.
When you say worth 2 dice, that's like, is that like a value? Like if we tried to sell them, we would roll dice to see how much money we got or something?
Close. When you get to town and you go to spend money, it's not so much, I've got 50 gold pieces, let me spend it. You'll go to the merchant, you'll buy your equipment, you'll add up all the dice in value, and then you roll using your gold or your resources. Treasure.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, if you fail that roll, obviously I'm going to give you your equipment. You can become taxed, which just means you go back to town and people are looking to take your money. Or I can
Interesting.
add some other twist. Say you have an enemy and you fail your roll on your equipment. I can give you equipment, but then your enemy jumps in and something's happening with them.
Okay. Cool.
Now, as you spend money in town, your resources are just like a skill, and as you use them, it goes up. So as you go up in power as you play the game, your ability to get resources goes up.
Spend money to make money.
Very
Exactly.
interesting.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And you
Well,
do the same thing in town, going to the tavern, things like that.
okay. I got the problem of I have no more places to stash stuff, at least right now. So if someone else wants to grab these things, they can.
I'll wear one.
I would advise against wearing those. There's the skeletons wore them. That would imply that they were maybe servants or enslaved by
So
whatever's
you're
down
saying
here.
they'll make us immortal?
No, I'm saying that they might actually be more troublesome than they're worth.
Don't listen to the wizard Klingerdin. I think he looks good on you.
It does look fetching, but that's besides the point. You do what you wish. I've given my piece. I already have a silver thing anyway, so I'm already a little at ease of uneasy in terms of wearing this thing.
Well, can you sense any magic upon it?
You want to risk a check on that?
I'll wear one.
Yeah, you put it on and nothing happens.
Well, maybe I'm wrong then.
Just a
Sir,
silver necklace.
Sir, do you want the other one?
I think all 3 are already given away.
I didn't take one, and
Maximus
I
has
can't.
one.
No, I don't have any slots for it. I'm already wearing a necklace. I don't want to stick it in a bag.
Sure, I'll wear one then. Piece of metal to put on top of my pieces of metal.
yes, at least for you, it's practical.
If it melts in place, my neck will just get tighter.
So what do you put it down as? Just like plus 1D? Is that what it is?
I think it was plus 2D, wouldn't it?
2 dice. You can just put down silver torque 2D.
I literally put it in the other order. Plus 2D
Yeah, same
silver
thing.
torque.
There you go.
I'm also not wearing a backpack. I want to point that out.
Ah,
Well, I don't have any room. the armor of myself takes 2 slots on my torso.
So now,
Another trade-off for being a servitor.
you see, that was, I think that is one more round left on the lantern.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. And I guess 1 round left on the torch.
Correct.
Well, you have more fuel, or oil rather, for the lantern, don't you?
Yeah, I'm equipped for a little bit, so can keep this thing going.
And,
When do you
sir,
run out
were
of
you?
lantern?
I'm sorry, never mind. I was about to ask about Sir eating, but you didn't need to eat.
Nope.
Okay. So, you're still good on light for this turn, still. Sitting in the corridor, there were 2 exits. I think I got these on the map page.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you had 2 passageways leading off on the western wall, one towards the beginning and one further down towards the end.
I think we saw, if I'm remembering correctly, we saw signs of drag marks on the floor or tracks of some kind heading on this entrance, the western
That
exit
is
to the north.
correct.
So I
Correct.
would suggest that we continue to follow that. Maxima still wants to find this girl and figure out what happened to her.
As
Yeah.
do I.
Pointedly, we were going that way because if we were going to make the turn, we would never have hit the skeletons.
Okay. Gotta move away from the deck, otherwise I keep highlighting it. Move everybody up. And Maxima, you're still in front?
I don't mind being in front. I do have the lantern. It still has some juice left.
Okay. And you're actually gonna go peering in there, correct?
Indeed.
There we go.
What's your
Alright.
instinct, by the way, Maxima?
I was about
Let me
to ask.
check. I think my instinct is if I see unguarded treasure, it's always lift unguarded valuables.
Oh, right, cook thief. Now I remember.
Yeah.
Now then, let me give you a quick rundown. The walls in this room are wrapped in a rotting blue silk draperies, some of which have fallen from the hooks and now lie piled upon the floor, revealing bare marble walls. What appears to be a large circular copper-lined pit, perhaps a foot deep, takes up the center of this chamber like a massive bowl. Fine powdery dust or maybe ash half fills it, and a thin coating of the stuff seems to lie upon everything else in here as well. Statues, some of them whole, some of them crumbled and broken, stand in recessed niches along the walls. Another large recess in the eastern wall contains a waist-high block of marble draped in more rotting silk, behind which are 2 statues with many faces locked in a titanic struggle. A small niche at the southern end of the western wall holds what appears to be a pitted and blackened censer.
I'm assuming that means this one. I can't point at it very well. I'm assuming that means this one.
Yes.
Because, the orientation of the letters. South letters. Numbers. God, I'm so good today.
You're
That's
fine, you're
right.
fine.
We're looking at this map sideways. Okay.
Hmm.
And in this game, we're not making perception checks. We're just narrating what we want to go investigate, right?
Yes. You can make, I believe it's Scout if you have Scout,
So
or Dungeoneer.
I'll do some dungeoneering.
If you just remember, if we're going to be making any tests, that will click another turn on the grind.
True.
What is it in particular we want to look at?
Hmm. I guess my first question, not a test, not an official wish, is that to the south, or I guess in this case to the west, another exit out of this room?
Yes. That is correct.
So I guess first I'd want to see if that is it leading to a hallway. I guess it's dark, so we don't have a lot of range on that vision.
Probably
If
not.
you're going down and looking in that direction, one moment, you can
Little compass
see
rose for you.
Thank you.
opens up into a short corridor and then into a room.
Okay. Well, if we want to investigate this room, I'm for it. If other people, yeah, I guess I'm for it.
The torch only has one turn left on it, right?
Yes.
That is correct.
I mean, that's
But I
pretty
could also,
difficult.
I mean, I could also light more. I have.
Yeah, they come in packs
more.
of 4, right?
Yeah,
You got the economy pack.
I got the economy pack. Yes. I'm not the only one with torches, though, right?
Let's just hope you didn't get them over at Harbor Freight.
All right, so we have like what looks like an altar of some kind, and we have a bunch of I guess other
You
stuff
have
like
Statues.
A giant bowl of ashes, a bunch of statues, mad dogging each other. And I've already forgotten what's in the southern alcove over here.
All right, well, my curiosity is like maybe looking into the bowl of ashes personally, but I have a feeling that is there like any lore check that I can do with that or no?
to say, if you wanted to do that, would actually be a theologian test.
I cannot do that at all. Then never mind.
Yeah, no one here is trained in theology, huh?
Oh, well, Harrick might be, aren't you?
I believe, yeah. I could do that. I'm just so tired.
I do
Those
also.
skeletons took so much out of me.
I do love that response. No one here is a theologian, huh? I believe, yes.
Yeah, that is
I'm
funny.
sorry. I'm exhausted. I'll do it. Anybody want to help? So let me ask the question: can you help if you're not proficient in the skill?
If you don't have the skill, no.
Well, there are help
Okay.
skills directly tied to them.
So let's say
Yes.
I didn't have theologian. Could I still do it? It would be beginner's luck then, or I could use my nature. Correct?
Correct. I was about to
Okay.
say you could fall back onto your nature.
And you can't have help in that instance either. Correct?
I don't believe so.
I think you can help
Yeah.
a beginner's luck
Test.
skill.
But you'd both be beginners, right? Because no one else would have it. Because we would. You would most likely go
Well,
with somebody that
the help
had
for
it.
theologian is scholar. So if any of us have scholar, we can help you with your theology.
Right.
And I have scholar, so I should be able to help you.
Well,
Also, if you do you have a wise or a trait that you could trigger as well?
I do not. It's weather-wise, so
How
it's not gonna.
about a trait?
Um, A trait? I don't think. No, I don't think a trait would.
Okay.
I'd trigger a trait either. I mean, loner. I'm gonna do this by myself.
Yeah, I mean that would just get rid of anybody helping you.
Yeah.
But you would get that bonus. What I will
Right,
actually do.
but potentially that could I could get a tax for that, right? Or a
Is
condition.
for if you fail the roll.
Yeah,
Yes, you could.
because I'm already exhausted, which I don't really understand how I could go to. I guess I could be sick, right, or injured. I don't know how I could get injured or sick if I'm exhausted.
Well, if you push
I
your
would
exhaustion too much, you
honestly,
can get sick
Yeah,
yeah,
in real
but I
life.
wouldn't. That would be too excessive and not a narratively appropriate condition for failing that roll. I
right.
would either say you're hungry and thirsty. Uh, maybe you have an issue trying to figure it out, and you make yourself angry.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta keep trying to think of this a trait and not as a. I keep thinking of it as like yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
go from one to another.
the
Okay,
book specifically says the conditions aren't in the right order to keep you on your toes.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I could even
Okay.
say something if you failed the roll that all of a sudden a gust of wind blows through the dungeon and the torch goes out.
Yeah. Okay. So I am going to use my theologian skill, and I'm going to say to Sir, I'm going to do it myself, so I can get a +1 and use my loner trait.
What if you went
So that
against your trait, though?
That would
yeah.
get you a check for camp, and you would lose 1 die to the roll.
Right.
Now, just remember, if I decide to give some kind of twist or a condition because of the failed roll, you will get information in return.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to go. I'm going to use my trait 4. I'm going to
Okay.
say I'm going to do this myself.
All right.
And here we
Pick
go.
up the die for it.
What's the op? Or is there?
It will be 2.
Whammies.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So what'd your research find out there,
Yes!
buddy?
I'm exhausted.
uh,
Oh dear.
what I'm going to say. You do figure out what the room is. A postulant wishing to hopefully become an immortal lord could be using this room as part of the ceremonies or rituals. You also know that if you were to pray in front of the altar in this room, that it would assist you in certain kinds of holy conflicts, shall we say? If you were to get into a, say, conflict to banish or abjure, it would help you. However, what you do, you just got to spend a bit of time doing it and you become hungry and thirsty.
Okay.
Now, if somebody had helped you, say, sir, helped you with a skill, then he would be subject to a condition or a twist as well.
Got it.
But you can also alleviate the hungry and thirsty simply by eating or drinking. And that, however, is going to check off the 5th turn.
Which means the torch goes out.
Yes,
and the
cool.
lantern.
And now we're in darkness.
So
Okay.
real quick, before you're plunged into darkness, you can relight a torch off the old one or dump some oil into the lantern, or both.
So I would like to use some oil because I'm currently at max capacity in my satchel, so I wouldn't mind clearing out some space unless anyone else has objections there.
Nope.
Okay, so I'm going to use one of my 4 remaining flasks of oil and relight my lantern.
Does anybody else have torches besides me?
I have a lantern and some oil.
Okay. Well,
The
I will.
lantern stays out for how long?
3
3.
tokens.
3. So I'm just giving you ownership
Um,
of that token. Put a little bar on it so we know how
Oh,
long
yeah.
it lasts.
That'd be nice.
So 2 of you have lanterns and oil, and I'm the only one with torches.
Small oversight on my part.
Well, okay. All right. Do I need to light another torch right now? Let me ask you
Yeah, because
that.
the lantern only takes 3 people. So we need another torch for the next 2 people.
well, those
Oh,
other
that's
2
true.
people would just be in dim light. They would not be in total darkness.
So I'm going to actually hold off on the torch. We'll light it when we
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
light it
and
at conflict.
honestly, if you're not in a conflict, you can change around who's in the light, who's out of the light, however you want to do it. So if one person wanted to make a roll, you could bring him the light and they could have the full light while they're doing it.
Cool.
So yeah, that box behind Maxima's token is her torch. With a little counter on it to know how many turns it's got left.
Nice.
Alright, the statues in the room. Was anybody looking at those? Going to leave them be?
Well, it depends on what we would need to know anything about them.
They would require a theologian test as well.
Herrick is the only useful one in this room.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Um,
I'm a lore master and a scholar, but not a theologian.
So Maxima would, in character, which I'm going to do out of character, ask Herrick if he thought there was any value to further exploring this room, if there was a good reason, something good that we could get out of it.
Well, I guess if you want to pray to whatever this is, it's not my god.
Who is your god?
Oh, it's from the far north of Midarmark. You wouldn't know, sir.
The far north, you say? You mean like where the Sakai come from?
Thereabouts. Even further north than the old Sakai.
Oh, so where the Skinir come from? Skinai. Sorry. Mispronounced.
Yes, that is my tribe. The Skinir. Herdsman of reindeer. Not my life.
Very well then.
I've heard reindeer make exotic eating.
Oh, very good meat. No salt needed.
Well, for curing, of course.
Yes, of course.
Well, if we find her, I'd relish the opportunity to cook one up for us.
Indeed.
So, out of character, what would praying actually entail?
That would require, I believe
An
that is a
enormous
ritual
waste of
test.
time.
Probably, but
Yes, it would just be a ritualist test.
I
I
can't.
can tell you that
I can't do that either. Never mind.
If someone were to successfully do it, I can tell you that it would be a nice bonus.
It'd also be 1/3 a thing of oil.
Yes.
Yeah, man, everything's got a cost. I love it. cost and risk. And
All
I guess the question is, does anyone here feel like they're a skilled enough prayer to pull it off?
I mean, my creators are dead, so I got no one
Yeah.
to pray to.
No point.
I mean, I don't see the point in praying most of the time to begin with, so you probably should ask Harrick on that one again.
Well, I mean, you could do a beginner's luck. I mean, if you wanted to try to,
That's true. I could.
increase your skills, just out of character. I mean, Herrick's going to say, it's not my god, and I'm not praying to this. Who knows what we could bring forth? So if you want to, you could give it a shot. I can help you.
So you said it's a ritualist?
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I have that
mean,
too.
I could do, if you want, I'll attempt it just for the beginner's luck, I guess.
So
I mean, you could do
wanna-
different things. You could add your nature to it to increase, or
You want to pray to the guy, or pronouns. You want to pray to the thing controlling undead, burning things here, and
I mean, I look at it this way. There's a reason why this altar is here before it may have been defiled. Think about it pragmatically. This
Well,
place
What if
was
it
never
never needed
undead for
defiled?
Chris.
yeah, think about it logically. Maybe it never defiled. Maybe this is its purpose.
I
Then
will
all-
say that because of your role and the information you obtained, the ash is part of the ritual.
okay.
Come here, kitty cat.
Right, so not
Come on.
defiled.
Over there.
Used as intended.
So then
Yes.
maybe all the more reason to try and attempt to recreate the ritual?
Seth, are you trying to become immortal?
I mean,
But it-
immortality is always within my grasp.
If you recall, Seth, wasn't there some kind of seal at the front of where we entered that said that it was preventing it from bringing it forth? Like it was trying to bring something forth?
Actually, let me check my notes on that real
Yeah,
quick.
you
What
are the
was
one
it?
that read that.
Yes. The rune translation, Hathor Vash's tomb. Someone important in the tomb. It is. She was trying to become a god, or he, or whatever it was trying to become a god, and curses upon the tomb for all who enter. So, you suspect that this ritual might have been part of her trying to become a god?
Yes.
Yes.
All the more reason to do it then.
Praying before it wouldn't be part of that actual ritual. You would just basically be using the area as an altar to pray at.
I'll have at
Okay.
it.
So, all right,
Basically-
how would I do this then?
That would be a ritual test.
Which I have 0.
Okay, so we would be using some beginner's luck here.
Now, where is beginner's luck for will or for health?
Right. You would not be using beginner's luck. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I'm getting to the right page here.
You said ritualist, right?
Yes.
If it was beginner's life or ritualist, it would be will. Because you don't have the skill, right?
Yes.
No, I do not.
That's on page 33, by the way. I know you don't have the
Yes.
book, Robert.
Yeah, I really gotta. Well, first off, I need money, but then I can track down the book.
We all
Yeah,
need.
Good luck.
It's very close to the actual, Torchbearer is all about. We need money.
Well,
I wish there was
Need money.
The guilds won't hire us.
Well, in
Sure,
real
it just
life,
sends you off.
in real life,
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's very much what the game is about.
yeah.
The actual book is really expensive, though. Like if you want to,
Like a physical
I-
version or a
Physical
PDF?
yeah, I
copy?
saw it for like $180.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
that! It's not worth it then.
I
It's
know,
probably
right?
been out of print for a while, I'd guess.
Maybe.
And
This is the
somebody was
first
selling
edition?
their used copy. And I got it at cover price.
That's awesome.
Nice.
I mean, how much is a PDF? Because I could live with that.
I can't find it.
It is on Drive-Thru RPG for 15. I can post the link. Hold on, because that's where I picked up my copy.
I'll probably just get it at drive-through eventually then.
But I thought that was
Yeah.
just the initial release of the game. That only covers like a certain.
Well, the game actually
does
only
it?
covered so many levels, and then there is supplemental. One of the handout sheets actually covers
Right.
until 10th.
Yeah, base game
Okay,
is 1
so-
through 5, and then
Gotcha.
they had to give people 5 through 10 because I guess they kept surviving.
Yeah, for the lucky ones.